And just
away
like that,
we go.
Whoa.
the quickest we've ever went live ever.
No
Like,
outro. RIP DMX. We can't have our intro music
click of a button
for DMX.
I'm not gonna be update. There we go.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
What we're live. Get live.
I like it. No intro.
Big shitty slate today of basketball.
It's something. I mean, listen. We'll get into it. Welcome everybody. So we got Paulie, Scoops, KG, everybody here. We're going to talk some basketball. We're going to be working harder tonight than half the Brooklyn Nets. That's for damn sure.
Than the entire Brooklyn Nets. It's terrible. Terrible. For such a game that they pipe up to prime time, you feel like they'd get a little respect.
Well, that's the thing, man. I mean,
they're on prime time, right? ESPN tonight?
It's an ESPN game starting now. I mean,
no respect. That's crazy. And you know what they actually put in the injury report? What did it say? Expected back March 16th or April 16th.
Listen, right now the NBA is a joke. From the debacle that the Houston Rockets are to what the Nets are doing. Ben Carey. Exactly. NBA is a joke right now. I don't know. And listen, as big as NBA fans that we are and basketball fans we are, I can't remember a time that I'm so disheartened by a first place Sixers team and everybody else going on in the NBA. I mean, it's this right now. They could blame it on COVID. They could blame it on the short season. I don't know what they want to blame it on, but what's going on now in the NBA is just a joke. So what do you guys feel?
It's terrible, man.
Today was a total bummer. Like when I found out that none of these guys were playing, it was like what, I was all hyped up for the game, ready to go. It was on national TV. The game meant a little something. I mean, it's a 2-game swing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, big game today.
And these guys just drop out. So the Nets aren't taking this serious. I mean, that's just what it tells me. And
they don't,
that's good for us because the longer they don't play together, I think it gives us the advantage over them. So, I mean, if anything, this is hurting the Nets tonight. The Sixers got to take care of business, scoop the win and, keep it moving. That's what they got to do tonight. They can't slack tonight. You have to come out, pound these guys and kill them in the beginning.
I think they need to put a beat down on them.
Yeah,
they put a beat down. Hey, look, this is. Even if you were here, it wouldn't have mattered. We still would have whooped your ass.
Well, here's the thing too. How disrespectful should the Sixers feel? Like they're out here trying to play like this is a matchup. I mean, we talked about last week's show about how important the 1 seed is in the East, especially with some of the matchups because you want to avoid the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, is the Nets right now saying it doesn't matter this game? Because we're going to turn on in the second half, in the last couple of weeks and just pass you. I mean, you guys feel it's being disrespectful, and they just think they can turn it on whenever they want.
I mean, that's what it sounds like and looks like to me. I mean, I don't hear. I mean, they're like I said before we came on. Kyrie's just sitting out for personal reasons. I mean, what's going on with this guy? I mean, it's crazy.
So I read a report. Kyrie is actually sitting out. He had converted to
Muslim.
Muslim.
He's Muslim now.
And now it's I was gonna say I thought it was Islam, but so he's practicing Ramadan. But now, I mean, the first thing I said now is he the first ever a Jewish
That's not Jewish, but
no.
Or what? Not Jewish, Muslim. Is he the first ever? I mean,
no, because you gotta remember
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then there was a guy named Chris Jackson from LSU who was literally Steph Curry before Steph Curry. I mean, if you took Steph Curry and put him in the 90s and 80s, it would be Chris Jackson, aka Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who's playing in the Big Three. He's still balling too.
Very good player, man.
He was good, but he was one of them guys that was a little bit before his time. So there's been plenty of Muslims and even like Amari Stoudemire who was plays for the Israeli national team as a true Jew. So yeah, it's very common, and I'm sure there's more that we're kind of forgetting.
Yeah, I mean that's why like he's not the first to do it or to practice this. So I mean, I guess now it's just today's society, and he don't got to do shit. And it's like now the fourth different reason he's sat out this season.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Ramadan is a few week thing. I think it ends in it's almost like a month long. So I mean, if he's going to sit out to the end of May, I mean, to the middle of May, I mean, that's going to be a big thing for the Nets. But there's been plenty of there's been plenty of Muslim players in the NBA that haven't sat out this. And I told you before, and I'm not trying to be insensitive, but today and yesterday, Minnesota Timberwolves got their doors blown off. Right, by Brooklyn, by Milwaukee, and Karl Anthony Towns sat out because it was the 1 year anniversary of his mother's passing. And listen, we all feel for that kind of stuff, but like the year anniversary, I mean, I've had stuff like that happen, and I tape up, I write names on my shoes, on my tape job, everything like that, and I go out there and I play for whoever I'm respected from. I don't sit out a game, and it's just the NBA right now. That's what they're doing. That's their thing. It's like it's almost like a fight or flight. Either you're going to fight, you're going to fight. Now it's instead of playing through something tough, these guys just sit out. Oh, fuck it, we'll sit out.
Yeah, it's like that. I mean, we've said it countless amount of times on the show. That's today's society. It's the soft. Everybody gets a trophy mindset. You sit out and you don't got to do shit, and you still get paid. They're still getting paid though.
Absolutely, it's a great union. The NBA is a great union. And if you guys seen the outburst from who was it, Brandon Marshall last week about the NBA guaranteed contracts? They do. Yeah. He does that show with Chad Johnson and everything, and they're talking about the NBA's guaranteed contracts. And Brandon Marshall was like, they don't have guaranteed contracts, only the top two. Well, he was absolutely wrong, and every athlete made fun of him, which was great because he was arguing. So like he was like,
yeah, he's ready
out of his seat, standing up, arguing.
He was ready to throw hands. He was pissed.
Yeah, kind of like Mike Galletta with wanting Tom Brady kind of thing. Trying being so wrong, he's trying to make himself right. So it's
we got a couple questions from it's what's that YouTube boy.
Well, I seen the question. We're gonna be talking about Jamal Murray and Denver situation a little bit late, but I want to talk a little bit more about these guys sitting out. I think it's something. All right, you guys remember, right? Boston Garden, Saturday, Sunday, Friday night, whatever. It was going to be out of the world. You got Mike coming in to battle the Boston Celtics, right? You got him coming in to face Bird and Mikael and Parrish and Danny Ainge. There was never a time that Kev, you're the Bulls fan here. Ant, you're old enough. There was never a time where we were like, oh, Mikael, Bird, Parrish, and Dennis Johnson are playing tonight. Like, imagine that. Like, that's unfathomable. And this is the shit that's happening now. As a basketball fan and a sports fan in general, it's a fucking joke.
That's like literally crazy. It's like the entire team.
Yeah,
like anybody who's relevant is just they're all sitting. Like, are they all this hurt? Durant, they could have sat. They could have sat yesterday.
Is this the Embiid flu? I mean, they used to get the Shaq flu. Is this the Embiid flu?
Well, if their game doesn't get moved, because the Minnesota game got moved, so the Nets wouldn't have been on a back-to-back. Would they all have played if that game doesn't get moved? You know what I mean? Is it because they're playing a back-to-back? Because the Sixers got a little advantage there.
That's their excuse.
The schedule changed.
Right? They could have sat yesterday.
Well, I mean, that's on them. But I mean, is that where the decision comes from? Because they developed a back to back when they weren't going to have one.
Look, if you're in the locker room and you're sitting there and you're saying, all right, like you're not going to play both ends of the back to back. Which game are we going to have you guys sit out?
Or how about split it up a little bit?
Right.
You know?
I hear you. I'm trying.
What Kev said was right. It was an excuse.
Yeah.
All this. It's all this.
No, I know.
But it's just
I'm
such a
trying-
worthless. It's like
Steve
so.
Nash got on and said that they asked what Durant was. The thought was, did you want to play since it's a big game? And his bullshit fucking excuse, and he can kiss my ass too. Well, we thought about that, but we wanted to, give our players the decision of what they wanted to do. Like, whatever. Like, you didn't want that. You don't want that smoke right now. Durant, but see, I don't know, man. It's starting to piss me off. I'm so tired of talking about this shit. It's I'm gonna take off this and that and the third and play fucking basketball. Play basketball. That's
And
it.
Kev, you're not a better, but a bunch of us out there are, and you're a better too. And we know, like, listen, I've been talking to people in the last couple of weeks. It's insane. Like, you can't bet on it. Like, you try to find some props or stuff like that, but
you guys, I do.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You're getting paid an uber amount of money to play a fucking kid's sport. Play basketball and stop with these fucking excuses. I don't want to hear it. If you would have said that, it's my first couple games or my first game back, I want to take off. All right, you've been back like a week now, bro. Get your ass out there and play. Blake
Right.
Griffin, you're soft. We've already seen how soft he is. He don't want no smoke with Embiid. We know that. LaMarcus Aldridge, we know he don't want no fucking smoke. And then they heard Ben talking that stuff today. They don't want none. They don't want none right now. And this is coming not from a Sixers fan. This is coming from a basketball fan. I know when somebody don't want no fucking smoke, and you can see it. And that's why I still feel confident about the Sixers beating them.
Now all this game we're all pissed off about this game, right? Because and you know what, the NBA exec and the ESPN, they must be pissed off about this too, because they didn't put this primetime game on a Wednesday night for them to have the entire net set out the night before, and they play a meaningless game against Minnesota. So they're pissed all night. But at the end of the day, they're still going to have to face off in the playoffs most likely. And speaking of playoffs, our man Luka came out. What's that?
Not to cut you off. Kyrie is playing.
Yeah, Kyrie's starting.
Yeah, they just announced the lineups.
Gee, thanks, Kyrie. How much you guys want to bet? You made a little side bet. He pays a half, and then he has to sit out or something. I bet you the Sixers are up by 30 and a half, and he'll want to sit out.
It's if I remember correctly, it's Durant, Harden,
Griffin,
LaMarcus Aldridge,
And
Griffin.
Blake Griffin.
Yeah,
they're all
like-
four of them are out. So
like, what's Blake's excuse not to play? He hasn't played all year.
He has a vagina.
he's
makes
red
no
bone.
sense.
That's why.
He's
He doesn't want to smell Ben Simmons' fingers, who used to mess with one of his girls. I don't know, like Kardashian beef.
He's soft. He's
Maybe it's like
always
some
soft.
TikTok beef. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna tell you it's a joke. But listen, Luka came out and questioned the playoff format. The 7 through 10 get in and everything like that. He's kind of like, why are we playing all these games? And I give credit to Luka. He's not one of these soft dudes that sits out.
Nope.
Porzingis sits out every other game, and he has a little bit more injury history. But Luka doesn't, and he's questioning. He's like, why are we playing all these games and trying to work hard, and then everybody gets in, and then you got to play, a couple bad games and you're out of it. I mean, what do you guys think of Luka? Does he have a valid question?
And first basket.
I think he has a valid point. I think it should just be the top 10 in each division, and you play the 10 versus 10. I think but the thing is, it does make him look bad because he's fighting for that spot. But I agree with him. I think it's stupid. If you're going to do it that way, just do the top 10 and you guys play it that way. Go top 20.
But I think if you do a 10-team format in the playoffs, I think that's just way too much to make the traditional playoffs. I mean, that's
technically it's almost like it anyway, because if the one team wins, it's 2 out of 3. So if you knock everything down to 3 out of 5, you can get it done.
Well, I'm going to tell you right this, and you guys know I have a disdain for soccer. I think soccer is one of the problems with America. It's contributed to the pussification of the flopping and the European influence. This is a soccer format. This is 7 through, this is like they do it like this play-in bullshit soccer format. And this is what Adam Silver likes, because he's trying to globalize the game. And from what I read, Adam Silver's a bigger soccer fan than he is almost an NBA fan. So he's trying to mimic it. So this is what you get. And Luka, European, is questioning it, which I think it's ridiculous. Give me my top 8. If you're the 9 team and you don't make it by half a game or by a game, guess what?
Well,
You know.
So
Yeah.
the tournament, how it's broken down, the 7th plays 8, 9 plays 10. The winner of 7 and 8 gets the 7th seed automatically. They only got to play one game, correct?
I don't know. This is where I leave it to you guys. Let me know.
Yeah. So I think 7, 8 play each other. The winner of that gets the 7th seed,
So they just
and
play
then
one.
the loser of the 7th and 8th plays the winner of the 9 and 10 for the 8th seed. So you're adding what? 2 more teams. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I'm with you, Tone. It's ridiculous. That's a great word for it. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
You-
I mean, they're trying to
the
capture a
NBA.
couple extra games by the markets and keep
Oh.
people.
it's not competitive. The 7 and 8, they're normally getting swept anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I like football. Football is a lot different. You got a lot of those guys on like
and
the
and
cusp.
March Madness as well. So like when you leave anything up to one game, then there's a lot more variables can
That's
happen.
wrong.
A team could get hot, or what I'm saying. I mean, there's
Right.
a lot of variables. In football, kind of a little bit similar. One game.
I mean, like now we got the wild card, like the wild card weekend, the added team on the wild card, like, but they're still competitive.
This
Like,
is also
NBA.
this is also in response to trying to get teams not to tank. So, but they're
Right.
doing it but they're tanking anyway.
Okay.
Right.
That's
It's like,
not-
If they
you
don't
got
want
a
to be in the
job.
top 8, they're not going to want to be in the top 10.
It's
just
not
that simple.
working. It's not working. So let's go
So
back.
now,
Go back to the old 8, one through 8, and get it over with. Let's just get back.
so
to
now
it.
if you're a 7 seed and you get bounced, you lose back-to-back games in the playoff. Now, are you eligible for the lottery?
I believe. I don't know, but you would think so, right?
Good question.
Right.
Well,
so now
because
you're a
they
seven.
reweighted the lottery now,
lottery
so
game.
you're it's really weighted heavily to the top 3 or 4 teams with the equal. So if you're in that mix, it just kind of goes back down. So it's you lose, you don't get you drop down. You're not in the lottery, but you get dropped down. Yeah, as a non-playoff, as a playoff team, but you don't really have strong lottery odds where you could pull off a miracle.
Right. You got 2. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at Denver's case, I mean they're in the 7th seed. They're a game and a half above Memphis, who's in the 8th seed. And then you have San Antonio, Golden State. These guys hanging around. The Pelicans. Let's talk about the Pelicans. Still not in the playoffs. You have Zion. You have this guy. You have that guy. You have Brandon Ingram. Why are they not in the playoff hunt? I mean, they're in the playoff hunt because you have 10 teams in it. But when are these guys going to get in the playoffs? I mean, the Pelicans destroyed the Sixers a few nights ago, a few games ago, and now and then it just kind of takes some of the games off and stuff like that. I mean, there's some teams like you can't tell me that the Pelicans are really trying to make the playoffs.
They're losing. Listen, I've been on that trend of the Pelicans over for a little bit.
I took them tonight in the over.
It's kind of faded a little bit, but I'm still on it. But I've noticed they lose to bad teams.
Yes,
and that just
it's
kills
effort.
them. Like, I mean, they're losing to like OKC, they're losing to Washington. I mean, they're losing to bad teams, and it's killing them.
If you notice, and too, it's the effort.
Yeah,
I watched Pelicans play 2 nights in a row. Right, I watched them play against the Brooklyn Nets. When I was Kevin Durant played the half, I guess it was last Wednesday when we were talking about it.
Yep.
Pelicans gave no effort.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Steven Adams was standing around playing defense. Then a couple of nights later, they played the friggin' Sixers, and they're all playing balls out. Steven Adams is attacking Embiid. I mean, it's like,
yeah.
So you can't tell me that's a team that's trying to come out there every night and win and make the playoffs. Because if not, it's just a farce.
No, you're right. You're right. And that's why those overs go over, because they're not playing any defense.
I did take the over tonight. It's an 8:00 game. The Knicks are at them. I think the over under was like 218.5 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean they've been coming down. The value on their over unders have been coming down. So
And the 2 other games I bet on today were Charlotte -3 and Sixers -9. So we'll see if they get them done. If the Sixers lose this game, it'll be a letdown game.
Yeah. Oh,
Speaking of the Sixers,
game.
Our boy Ben is trying to bring a little smoke to the Stifle Tower. I mean, what do you guys think of Ben's comments? KG, did you hear about these?
I did hear about him. How he said if he's such a great, he scored 42 on him, and if he's such a great defensive player, you know, and I'm supposedly a guy who can't score. I
remember that game very well too.
I've been on the Ben Simmons train for the past 2 years, saying he's the best defensive player in the game, and nothing changes my mind because he can cover 5 guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he can shut down 5 guys, not all 5 guys, you know, not all 5s and stuff, but a legit amount of them. So you can't tell me any different that he's not the defensive. And don't get me wrong, Rudy Gobert is a great defensive player, but right now Ben Simmons is the best defensive player in the game.
Yeah, I've seen Rudy Gobert last couple years, you know, and he's get this defensive player, but then I see he doesn't even like when they play the Nuggets, he doesn't even guard Jokic. I've seen that, and then Jokic just does whatever he wants against Derek Favors and whoever, Paul Millsap and whoever is out there. You know, so I don't know if Gobert is just living off his past reputation and the fact that the Jazz are in first place this year, or you know, or is he actually earn it? Because what I see from Simmons is phenomenal.
Exactly, and Ben shuts people down. Like I've seen a lot of guys give Rudy to work a lot. You know what I mean?
So did I. And
we watched Embiid.
A lot of it's effort. Because personally, like Ben, like we talked about this, Ben hasn't really been playing great on both ends. His effort and his intensity haven't been there. He's kind of waning a little bit. Attitude has been a little bit poor when he doesn't get the ball and that kind of stuff. So I mean, it'll be good to see maybe if, you know, a little chirping back and forth kind of enlight something. But I got some stats comparing Ben to Gobert. Okay, I pulled these out. So here we go. So you're looking at Ben Simmons possessions defending guards, right? Happened 992 times. Gobert 413 times. Gobert gave up more points. Ben has more than double the possessions defending guards, but Gobert gave up more points to guards.
Yeah.
Don't. Yeah. Let
good find. Stat boy.
Stat boy up in this piece. Listen, you know we're always trying to bring you the numbers, guys. And then here's the thing, right? So that's guards, and you know, so Gobert gets lit up by guards by, you know, that's almost a point per possession, which is hard.
Yeah, but technically he should be getting lit up by guards. He shouldn't be able to guard guards.
Right.
You know, right?
That's what makes Ben so versatile.
Okay. So let's bring it to forwards.
Go ahead. Yeah,
because there's no centers anymore. Yeah, Joel Embiid, and that's pretty much it. Jokic. I mean, there's no traditional centers. So look at forwards. Ben is again has 970 possessions, and Gobert has 870 possessions. You know, about 100 more. Gobert gives up more than double the points. So don't tell me that fucking the Stifle Tower is a better defender than Ben Simmons.
Nope.
I don't want to hear it.
No, none of us. I don't think anybody on this we're looking at right now agree. You know, thinks that. So yeah, I think it's just reputation. I think it's more reputation, like you said. I mean, he had how many years.
What was he? How many blocks per game was he? He was blocking shots, grabbing boards.
That's old news, though. It seems like it's old news.
Right, so. Right. He ain't that guy right now.
Yeah.
No, nope.
I mean, yeah.
Just watch what Ben does. And you know, I'm not a Sixers guy. You know, I enjoy watching the Sixers, but you watch him as a defensive guy, the way he can shut people down. Like he made Luka look like a child the other night. I was like, Luka looked scared. Well, every time Ben would switch or be on him, Luka didn't want none of that smoke, man. It was amazing. Yeah. Ben is going to a whole nother level with this defense. I'm telling you, he just shuts people down. He shuts anybody he wants down.
And if you're going by just blocks and rebounds, I mean blocks and rebounds, you have, you know, Gobert is second in the league in rebounds, 13, but Clint Capella is number 1 at 14, and we just seen him get embarrassed.
Yeah,
woo!
Posterized.
Woo! Yeah. And then if you talk about blocks, Gobert is second in the league in blocks, but you know, a lot of them from the help side. But Miles Turner is 3.5 a game, and there's our boy Clint Capella. You know,
yeah, but I mean, he's supposed to be. He's exactly. Like you said, he's got the how many times is he coming across helping against smaller guard just going up? You tower the paint. You're fucking 7-1. You're gonna get blocks.
Yep.
And you're out there 35 minutes a night.
Speaking real quick. Speaking of our man Anthony Edwards, who is I don't know if we talked about him last week.
Wait a minute.
He's
We
not
all
on a-
we
he's
all
not
saw
on the
this,
same
right?
planet. He's not.
Hold
he's
on.
not
I think it's the biggest troll ever.
You
He doesn't
think?
know who A-Rod is.
I think it's the biggest troll ever because they said, all right, 19 years old. One, he ain't that young. A-Rod was still around. Two, he grew up playing baseball and was like
Did he?
supposedly
I
pretty
know that.
good at he was pretty good at baseball.
Anthony
So-
Edwards is an interesting character. He's a weird dude, and it wouldn't surprise me if he grew up playing baseball, or maybe he never even played baseball and just said he's playing baseball. So I don't know where to get a good read for this guy, but I do know he just shit all over Clint Capella the other day. And,
Yeah, I mean,
he did
I
big
think
time.
he's
and
surprised.
no, was that Miles Bridges?
He's
That was Miles
surprised me.
Bridges. That was Miles Bridges.
He's surprised.
Who
He's
did
a
Anthony-
good player, man.
Who did Anthony Edwards get the other day? He caught a body on somebody the other day.
Not that
He's been catching bodies all year.
He does. And now with Weissman out, and that brings me up to John Suggs' question. We'll pull this up about the Jazz. They just lost James Weissman, who was had extreme. He'd have a phenomenal game and the coaches love him.
very
And then the very next game, he'd be in the dumpster. So
Yeah.
I mean, can the Warriors get the A spot? Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I've loved what Seth Curry's been doing. Steph Curry, our boy Seth. He's up and down. Hopefully, I'll be loving what he's doing too. But Steph Curry right now this year is having a special season, and they're in the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to see the Golden State go up against Utah, that 1-8, a nice old school 1-8 battle? I would love this. I'm not gonna bet against Steph. I'm gonna say they get it.
He just doesn't have enough right now, though, with help.
Yeah, I mean, he needs.
Yeah, but what
Wiggins isn't enough. Wiggins isn't enough, and
to
Draymond
make the playoffs? Listen,
How far? What
to
is
make the playoffs?
How far are they? How far back are they? Like, what?
Well, you got to think too. Right now, I mean, the Golden State is 26-28. They're 2 games behind Memphis and a game behind the Spurs for even a spot. And let's not forget, as Suggs mentions, the Grizzlies. When crunch time comes, they're going to have Jaren Jackson back. And they're going to be playing pretty hard. What's that?
He's back, isn't he? I thought I saw. Oh, I mean, that was Brandon Clark. I saw one of the long.
So I think with Jamal Murray
back tonight.
What's that?
John Morant's back tonight.
Oh, he
Yeah,
was
with
he whammed on the Bulls very hard.
Yeah, with Ja, and if Jaren Jackson can give them something.
But that was I asked this question a couple weeks ago with the Warriors. I mean, Steph Curry. I mean, I would probably say he's the greatest shooter of all time. Just past Wilt. He can't get a team into the playoffs without pretty much just Clay. I mean, they were a 72 win team without Durant and Klay Thompson. Pretty much a couple other. I would say this seems like a better team.
Oh no!
Than
the 72 win.
No.
When they had Harrison Barnes and
let me tell you something. Curry is back. He's playing great ball, but guess what?
Sure,
Draymond, Mr. Triple Single, is a fraud.
He stinks.
He stinks. He's
But
being
that's what I'm
exposed.
saying is the league as a whole caught up with the Warriors. Everybody's shooting threes now. Everybody in the league is shooting threes.
I mean,
when the Warriors had that season, when that Warrior had that 72 win season, they were the only ones shooting like that.
That was bad.
Now
But you can't.
every team is doing it. And now look you take out Klay Thompson and they're a 10 seed.
No, you're discounting the difference in talent between Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins, and just how much of a gap that there is for the team that they have.
Just to have, I mean, it's one guy out now, right?
No, but you're like, you got to think about the rest of that 72.
Where's Clay putting them? Clay on that team, he's putting them into a 3 seed, 4.
They're
Is Clay that-
they're a solid playoff team.
Yeah,
they're in there.
I
It's
think you're
just one.
Scoops. I think you're underestimating Klay Thompson and what he does.
I'm not. I think
Okay.
Klay Thompson's amazing. I think I'm more so discrediting Steph and Draymond.
Well, Draymond's
That's Steph.
Draymond's trash.
Yeah, but Steph's playing great. But you're a 10 seed. You can pretty much put anybody.
team, they had a lot of role players that fit. You know what I mean? They fit. They did what they were supposed to. These guys are a bunch of like first to 1-2 year guys that aren't ready. You know, you get Iguodala did his job. Who else did they have?
Livingston, Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, very solid two-way player. You had Iguodala off the bench. Sean Livingston was a solid player from. They still had a very effective Andrew Bogut that would come in and give them. They had actually basketball players that used their brain. You got guys like Kelly Oubre, who's a friggin' walking idiot.
Yeah,
you got Andrew Wiggins, who doesn't play any defense. You have James Weissman, who's a rookie. Then you got Draymond, and there's nothing else out there. You're overvaluing the pieces around Clay big time. You know, I mean, not around Clay, around Steph.
Yeah, I just can't see why they're.
You have a point though, Paul, because if Draymond wasn't a fraud, then they should be a little bit better because you're saying, okay, they had Draymond, they had Steph, and now you just take out Clay and you add Wiggins, and they should be a little bit better. But Draymond's a fraud. Draymond does nothing.
Right.
He does nothing.
Yeah.
He had a couple big assist games this year, but other than that, the only thing he does is run his mouth. Let's just say
that's why I think the Warriors' tenure that might be over with now, even with Clay coming back.
Well, if Weissman can come back healthy and give them a defensive rim protector, which is yet to be seen, you have Steph, you have Clay. Now, here's the thing, too. Now, remember, when you put out Steph, Oubre, and Wiggins on the same team, the defense there is pretty much non-existent.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you take out the shot blocker by playing Draymond. It's just, I mean, like it's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
I think that they're really really in a bind there in Golden State, because they thought they would be a little bit better, and then Clay gets out, and some people are not performing. So now, speaking of staying in the Western Conference, Henry and a couple guys mentioned this earlier. Jamal Murray lost for the season. What do you guys think? Can the Nuggets stay afloat? I mean, they were 8-0 at one point, and then they just lost two. So they're 8-2 in their last 10. They made a nice, they're 34-20. I mean, they were even struggling a few weeks ago to get in the playoff, and now they kind of separate themselves, and now they take this huge blow by losing Murray. What do you guys think about the Nuggets? Can they maintain that 4 seed?
No. I think they'll slip a little bit, but I mean, I think they'll make the playoffs. But I mean, he's their close.
Yeah.
Jokic is good, but Murray was their closer. You could tell they so we'll see. I don't think they're going to stay in the top 4. I think they'll drop down 6 or 7.
Right now, they're half a game ahead of the Lakers and 3 games ahead of Portland.
I will say one thing. I did say last week the Joker was the MVP. If they do stay in the top 4 and he plays out of his mind, I think it's a lock he wins it.
I think they could hang around. I'm a big fan of Michael Porter Jr., and I think you might see an emergence here where this guy's dropping in the 20s consistently. I mean, 20, 25 points a night. I mean, he's going to step it up. I mean, he
had 24 last night.
Yeah, so I mean, what's that?
He had 24 last night.
Yeah,
he's a great scorer.
I think you're going to see an emergence. You're going to see the real Michael Porter Jr. I mean, he's been playing phenomenal. Even before Jamal's injury, he's been really stepping up on this team, and I think they can hang in there just because of him. I think he's gonna turn into a really nice player for them, and you're gonna see that.
And every time we mention Michael Porter Jr., I can't help but mention how much I hate Brett Brown and Zaire. So
we're on the same page. I was that whole draft, man. That's all I was saying was that guy. You're gonna get a good value because he was hurt. You're gonna get good value.
Wendell Carter. We drafted Wendell Carter.
Yeah, man.
Wendell Carter.
I think the Nuggets can hang in there because of Michael Porter and their depth. But, season predictions, I had the Nuggets Nets. I don't think they could survive the West now without Murray.
No.
Well, it'll see. It's also a thing that, Austin Rivers did sign with the Nuggets. I mean, the Nuggets are a team that have a lot of guys who were they've had a lot of tweeners. at that position is like they almost had a glutton of shooting guards, and they got rid of Gary Harris, which would have really helped them now.
Yeah.
So maybe Austin Rivers can come up, and we were bashing the Warriors but let's not forget they did take out the Nuggets last night, and that's and Jamal Murray did play 33 minutes in that game.
And the night before, don't forget the Nuggets blew a huge lead to the Celtics. They scored nothing at the end. So I mean that team kind of could be unraveling. So
that was a 41-3 run at? Is that what it was?
Like something insane. It was
the 38, 37, 38 run. Yep. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So moving forward, we'll see. But like I said, I like Michael Porter a lot.
That's
man.
a good call.
I think he's gonna be a surprise.
Well, if you look at the Michael Porter's game log too, I mean, he hasn't scored like under 18 points all but once in his last 20 games. I mean, he's been lighted up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I don't, what Murray brought to that team as far as ball handling, the pick and roll offense with him and Joker. I mean, it's just such a weapon, and you saw what he could do in the bubble. And Murray started out this year slow.
Yeah,
so,
he's not having the best year, but him being out there, man, he's streaky. He could light it up at any time, take over a game. So that's what they're missing.
Yep.
Yeah, big time, and that's it'll show, and we'll see if they can survive.
No shot they get bounced out of the playoffs, right?
Playoff spot.
I think it's
they're six games ahead of the 8 seed there.
Yeah, I don't see that. I mean, I think if Joker, I think first of all, I think Joker's too good of a player.
Yeah, too much talent. I think they got some talent enough to.
I agree. I think they might slip maybe to that 6th spot, but I don't think they're getting bounced out of the playoffs.
No, I mean, especially now you see it depends really how healthy the Lakers are too, because Denver's in 4, and then but I can't say. I like Kev said, it's really even going to be hard for Portland to come after them as well. I mean, it's because you have to understand too. It's a shortened season. There's not 82 games this year.
There's only like 17 games left or something, right? There's
correct. And when you have half the league trying to tank, and you have it's going to be difficult for teams like that to fully fall out of the standings. And but one of the teams that we talked about last week, talk about them this week. I mean, is right now you have our 2-7 match. Well, whoever winds up in the 7th seed would be the Phoenix Suns against Dallas Mavericks, and that would be crazy. That would be a great match.
That'd be a fun one. That would be a good one.
Because so as Sugg says too here, it's about the Suns. Yeah, no one. We talked about the Suns a lot last week. I mean, listen,
watch our show,
Chris Paul is literally the John Taffer of the NBA, right? If you guys are familiar with Bar Rescue, I mean, Chris Paul walks into a team that's
franchise rescue,
looks around and says, "Okay, I'm going to get this team hyped." He did it OKC, and he's doing it with Phoenix. I mean,
that's crazy.
It's a phenomenal job by Chris Paul. I mean, they're 9-1 in their last 10.
Yeah.
Does anybody really want to play them? And
no.
I don't think so. I mean, the Clippers are won 6 straight, so they're right back in the mix too. Paul George played phenomenal last night, but Phoenix is a team right now that but them and you still have the Jazz that are still a game and a half up on them, but no one's really talking about Phoenix, except us. But I mean, that's what happens when you have a small market team.
Phoenix
that West is wild. I mean,
I don't know what this means.
They're just
Paul. You want to explain this?
He's got the rock. Just bring it.
Brahma Bull.
What's that?
The Brahma Bull fires him up. Maybe he thought we were doing the wrestling show.
So that's a wrestling shirt. Just bring it. I thought it was like a play on fucking. I thought it was like a Nike shirt. Just do it. Just bring it. Kind of shit like that.
No.
But some fake ass wrestling shit. I got you. That's why I would like it.
Right.
Yeah. Jesus. That I'm sure. It's hard to like anything guys running around in tights. It's hard really doesn't like sports. What he does like is watching men run around in tights. That's why he doesn't like basketball, because they have baggy shorts, so he can't see the junk. But football, it's that kind of stuff. I mean, it's wrestling. oiled up men, fake wrestling tights, stuff like that. He loves that stuff. I'm sure, like he's a big fan of a lot of these guys. So we're gonna get that off.
That's all basketball is now, right? They got the 5-inch inseams on them shorts now.
Wow, Paulie's dropping some interesting knowledge on that. I hope our boy Joey Fitch.
You don't see these guys; their pants are fucking mid-thigh.
Bringing it back, man. Yeah, that's what I wore as a Folsom Falcon back in the day.
Can't go below the knee anymore.
Had the short shorts.
Listen, when my junior year, when we busted out the long shorts.
Yeah, because of Michigan, that the black socks.
Yeah,
long
same with Atlantic City. We were rocking those purple and black Hirachis.
It all switched after that.
Purple and black Hirachis. You had the long sleeve with the black sock. Come on, bro. It was over.
Y'all are old.
That's damn right.
That's it.
Listen, Paul, we're that generation that took it from the tight, short John Stockton booty huggers to the Fab Five long shorts. And
thank us.
And listen. Here's
You're actually bringing style. You've actually watched styles fade and come back.
Exactly.
Twice.
So, a funny story about the Fab Five shorts is like I'm rocking Carolina because I've been a Carolina kid since early '80s.
Yeah.
But when I went to college, and then when I was in high school, the Fab Five was this, so everybody had the Fab Five shorts, the yellow Michigan shorts. If you were any kind of baller or anybody like that, you had the yellow Michigan shorts, and I wore them when I went to college to class one day at Seton Hall. And I'm like, the professor was like, you can't wear them. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't wear them? He's like, don't ever wear them to my class again. He's like, actually, you have to leave. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And he's like, and then I forgot. The heart out at Seton Hall. I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, that's right. I wasn't even putting two and two together, but, that's how I respect the professor for doing that because I've thrown kids out of my practices for wearing a Duke shirt. So, or made them change and they think I'm playing. But yeah, that's just how it is. Allegiances have to run tight.
You have to cut them.
What's that?
You got to cut them.
Throwing
as soon as you walk in
high
with that
school
Duke,
kids out of game.
Yeah, well, you just have to educate them. Depends how good they are. I'll just be cutting anybody. You just got to educate them.
Depends how.
One of the things I always do with my kids too is
it always depends how good they are.
Team. Yeah.
Always depends how good they are.
Yo, Paul, our generation had the original Jordans, like the ones that just came out. Like
who?
No one knew anything.
My Jordan? Yeah.
Who does?
Our generation.
We had the.
I still got the Jordan 2.5s original in the closet.
Yeah, man. I wish I had all the ones I had, man. I'm so
I'd be retired.
You never, yeah.
I mean, Kev, I know you got. Kev got way more Jordans than I got. I only got a couple, but like
I have. Last time I checked, and I have every Jordan from one to. I think I had 300. I got 300 pairs, and that's just a Jordan. Yeah, I have a problem. It's okay though. It's okay.
So hey, yeah.
First step is admitting it.
So, Ann, we already talked about some bets tonight. What bets you got going on for us tonight? What do you have? You said you had a little player props. I have a couple guys that are in on Simmons to over 13. I gave mine earlier. After you give yours, I'll give him a.
You with that 13 tonight?
I mean, I'm not going to hit this. I can tell you right now, it's not going to happen. I had a player parlay with Joe Harris over 20 points, which right now he has 0 after the first period. So I don't see that happening.
Hey, never know, boy. They might get hot.
Yeah, well, so then in the parlay, I had Joe Harris over 20. Let me check.
Gerald said he's got 10 already.
Who?
Joe Harris.
Joe Harris has 0.
Oh, well, maybe that's a typo then, Gerald.
So I had Joe Harris 20 plus, LeVert 20 plus with a win, playing the Houston Rockets, the Pacers, and then I got Brandon Ingram 25 plus, playing the Knicks. So, but this Joe Harris is killing me right now. 0 points. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, he does have 0, but Ben has 9. Maybe that's who he's talking about, and Embiid has 10. So maybe that's who Gerald was talking about with those points. So, We'll see. Like I said, I had Charlotte -3. I don't know how that's doing right now.
They're down 11.
Actually, they're down 9 to Cleveland, so that looks like a loser. And I got Philly laying 9 to Brooklyn, so hopefully they turn that up.
No, so right now we should jump on the Hornets at +156 money line, Tone. If you really think the Hornets are going to come back and do this, +180 now. Live bet that thing.
I'm not chasing. I'll just check it up as a loss, bro.
It happened. Yo, we can't win them all, man. I mean,
you can't win them all, but listen, I'm hoping to hit 2 out of 3, and then maybe I'll hit on some of the 10 o'clock games. See how it's going.
I'm looking at the late slates. I mean, these basketball games, the dogs have been hitting. So I mean, it feels like if you just fucking randomly take dogs, you may hit 1 or 2 of them. I mean, some of these teams, like the Atlanta Hawks,
it's effort. It's a lack of effort, like we talked about. Like,
I mean, the Atlanta Hawks the other night. I mean, they're not even playing with Young's out. They got guys out all over, and they're beating teams. I'm like, how is this happening? Like, it's unbelievable. The other night, the Suns lost, the Jazz lost. They were like -500 money liners, and they lost. I'm like, what's going on?
That's why we touched on a little bit on the earlier this show about betting on the NBA in this time. Like, listen, you don't know who's going to play, and then you don't know who's going to play hard. I mean, I don't think I've throughout my life I've played against a lot of NBA players like that, kind of like didn't get much run on the bench, and we talked about it last week too. In previous weeks, like guys like Moses Brown, Kelly Olynyk is a walking double-double, averaging 20 points a game for Duke. It's a lot of times about opportunity. It's really like when you think about when you're playing little league or you're playing youth basketball or something like that, and a coach tells a kid, "Don't swing at the pitch. You don't swing. You go up there, look for a walk. You go and you don't shoot the ball. You give the ball to Big Johnny or something like that, right?" The NBA is orchestrated a lot of that ways. It's like, listen, I don't want to see Damian Lee come down and chuck threes. We want Steph to go down and chuck threes. But the difference in talent level from the 12th guy on the bench who's a walking bucket to the guy who gets on the plays draw for him that's averaging 28 a game, it's not as big as people think. Think back to what I said last week about LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball has looked like a great, he's having a nice career. But how about Michael Carter Jr., who's starting for Orlando by the way, tonight? Michael Carter Jr. had many triple doubles on the way to a rookie year because it was for opportunity. So it's like there's a fine line between superstardom and the G League or overseas. And ask Jeremy Lin about that.
Yeah, no, you're dead on. You're dead on.
Good call.
So
that's why, like these games, I'm looking for player props because I can't get a feel on the game itself. So you're trying to find these guys, and there's guys, man, they're putting up numbers like you said. You never even really heard of right now. Yeah,
and then if you play fantasy basketball, it's ad drops. It's pretty much I'm just ad dropping. We get 7 ad drops. I'm doing like 1 or 2 a night to try to fill a roster that's going to be competitive.
Yeah, and you can find one.
Mm-hmm.
Like guys like that. That's why I took like guys like Joe Harris. Like nights like that night, I'm hoping he drops them. But
he's got 4 right now, so
Here he comes.
He'll be good.
Here he comes, man. Here he comes.
But right now the Sixers, I got the Sixers up. What? They're up a 9.
Sixers are up. 9. Yeah, 7. So it's 7.
7 now.
That's right. We won't blame you on that math, Ant. But
well, I think I'm behind on my TV a little bit. I'm straight.
Listen, I don't have the game on right now, but
right now 43-36.
Fat odds on Luka to score a triple double tonight, +700.
Yeah, it's been like that. I've been trying to bang some of those triple doubles as well, and just get some odds because that's another thing too. Guys like Joker, Harden, Luka, Giannis, Ben, they have the triple double props, and Westbrook as well when he's in. These guys have been hitting.
Westbrook has been
like -1.
It's like
John Suggs keeps asking about Murray, and Capazzo. No one gives a shit about Capazzo. Capazzo's a good story. He's a good player. He's a good, but come on now. We're talking about betting and stuff like that, and you've been asking nothing about Capazzo and blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, do you have investment in the Italian basketball player fund or what? You know, I mean, listen, we talked earlier when Drew Trammell from Game Winning Drive, watch Game Winning Drive tonight. They're going to talk about some football. But
did they just sign this
Italian dude, right? What's that?
They just signed this dude, right? The Italian or
no? Capazzo's been on the team. Listen, Capazzo's a nice player.
Who was the dude from Real Madrid?
TJ McConnell, but we're a little more
from Real Madrid that just signed, not the soccer Real Madrid.
Oh yeah, somebody signed with Oklahoma City.
Speaking of TJ McConnell, I watched that game last night. Yo, that guy's out there balling, man.
He was doing it here. He was doing it here.
No,
he's not a
key fit for here.
When everybody else is going 110%, TJ McConnell is going about 190.
Yeah, but think about how this guy, has made it in this league this long. Like when you first were introduced to TJ McConnell, you were like, "What's this guy doing in the league?" And now he belongs, man. Like he's playing.
In April, a guy like TJ McConnell is going to play hard and he's going to excel. He's going to be running around, like Paulie said. He's going to be playing hard. Can't shoot a lick. He completely lost on the offensive end for most times. But if I needed somebody to test the floor, like him to make sure there's no dead spots, TJ McConnell is going to dribble the hell out of the basketball and find a dead spot. He's going to make some passes and he's going to play hard and he's a coach's pet. And that's why Brett Brown had him for so long.
Yeah.
But if you put a fit on this team for the Sixers, he's just not a good fit for what they're trying to do. He doesn't shoot the ball well enough. He can't play with Ben. And the other guards. And I wouldn't mind seeing him next to Shake if he was still here, for a very, very small portion at a time.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think it's incredible how he carved a spot in the league for himself, and he's done well for himself from where he came from. Like I said, when he was first.
Well, I don't know Paul. What are you talking about? Where he came from, man? Do you not know TJ McConnell was a bucket in Arizona? He was one of Pennsylvania's all-time leading scorers.
You know what I mean? No one really was giving him a chance. I mean,
Brett Brown gave him. Brett Brown. He should fucking send Brett Brown every week
for fucking a while.
What's that?
Said he played here for a while.
That's what I'm saying. Brett Brown gave that guy a career. The thing with TJ McConnell is he is what he is. He's going to play hard. He's going to be an effort guy. He's not going to make too many stupid mistakes. But is he a guy that's going to be in your rotation if you're going to win a championship? No. And that's the problem that I had with him on Phillies, because they had him clogging up that spot, and not for anything that he's doing wrong or anything. It's just he hasn't got. So it's like you're looking at he was kind of like there's like a log jam. He was Brett Brown's infatuation for him was making them not getting anywhere else's potential. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't finding like a very good true point guard. And they passed up. If you look at the process Sixers and the list of them, there was a ton of good players that they let go.
I must wear that shirt tonight too.
Yep. Process.
Now together we tank.
Listen, Christian Woods in Houston balling. I mean, he's doing good. Jeremy Grant, we talked about him before. I mean, there was a lot of people that could have had a roster spot for the Sixers that were to help long-term develop into a championship. Right now.
Jeremy Grant tonight to score 25 and the Pistons to win.
Okay, I like that. That's another guy, Jeremy Grant, man.
Now imagine that when he was with the Sixers, you paid in that bet. Jeremy Grant scored 25 in the Sixers to win.
Plus 25. Maybe more, probably plus 10,000.
And my man Gerald, I know Gerald's a big TJ McConnell fan. He's probably the head of the TJ McConnell fan club. He has the TJ jersey hanging up on the wall. Everybody likes the underdog. He was the Rudy of Philly and the Sixers. So, I know that's Gerald's man. So good luck with that. Gentlemen, KG, you want to talk about your Bulls?
Yeah, what the Bulls tonight? They're 9-point favorites. What do we got with the Bulls tonight?
The Bulls are,
The
you know
Magic.
what? The Bull, what is it? 9? I'm not touching the Bulls, man. The Bulls are so up and down.
Levine got me the other night. I had a 3-guy parlay, all to score over 30 points.
What do
He
you?
came up short.
They're so consistent, man. Like, I got into it with on Bleacher Report. I'm so disappointed in myself with these idiot Bull fans. So I'm like, I'm so like they're gonna be in that stupid play-in thing because nobody else in the East, everybody else in the East sucks, and
They're only 2 games above. They're 2 games above Washington, 3 games above Chicago. So don't be so.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm okay because I wouldn't mind getting that pick back.
And Kev, guess what? I'm already eyeing up that filet you owe me. So let's go.
Oh, let's go.
It is what it is.
Like
Me and Kevin had about a month or so ago, before the Vucevic trade and everything, had a bet about a steak dinner.
We did at the beginning of the year, I think. I think we went all the way back to
it was because the Bulls were a solid playoff team. They were like the 5th or 6th seed.
That's
so
right.
I said that they're
Right.
not going.
Right.
So I said that the Bulls won't win a playoff game this year. So my what was it, Council Oak?
Oh yeah, go there. Yeah.
I'm partial to Old Homestead and AC. So I'm
yeah, no,
I think I'm about to hit KG up for a little Old Homestead love.
Yeah,
you know.
get them on the Old Homestead. I like that.
Listen, just because now I'm going to flip it back. Bulls about to go on a run, and I'm getting me a goddamn steak. That's what I'm going to say. How about that? Yeah, listen. I'm gonna ride with them, and I'm going to root for them, and I'm going to hope everything. But I mean, they're up and down. They're way too inconsistent right now. But we'll see. I like Vucevic. I like Levine. Unlike every other Bulls fan, it seems like I love Kobe. And I like Pat Williams, but we'll see, man. They're still young.
Well, I think best case scenario for the Bulls is they absolutely just tank the end of the season. You go in the next season with Kobe, Vucevic, and Zach LaVine. You get a stud, and we'll be talking about the draft probably next week.
Number one was Orlando. We got. I forget if it's top 8 protected or top 4 protected. So
I think it's top 4, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, let's tank. Let's go super tank then. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. Super tank and get that draft pick. So, anybody got anything as we're wrapping it up here? I don't know who we got on 8:00. Personal note, I'll be on Tuesday night with Brian Attard and some other lame to talk highly opinionated. Did I say lame? Yeah, lame. I said lame. I meant lame.
Yeah,
so I'm talking with them, and I don't know if you guys seen last night's episode with Havermel. Very good episode with Havermel and Attard, and I think there was a
Havermel back out.
What's that?
Been seeing Havermel back out.
Yeah, he's coming out of retirement a little bit to say every Packer player is great. Which that's not
I just don't see us getting rid of Aaron Jones.
Yeah, so
I might have to call it. I might have to call in and have a conversation.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk some football.
Yeah, you remember when he had a gambling show? I mean, I think this is the show, right? I mean, that's what I remember.
No, they had a basketball show, then they had a gambling show, but they never gave out picks. They just reviewed last week's games. They never gave out picks. And then Paulie joined for an episode.
Hey.
It was like
gave out about 150 losers, and we're all there.
What was that?
Gave out about 150 losers in 2 shows, and haven't looked back.
And you guys came on at like 11 o'clock at night.
Well, that was tough. We had one viewer, and I think it was Attard.
Yeah, and here you go, and
our West Coast fan base wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, no. So listen, Hav did a great job on highly opinionated. Attard was good there, feeding him questions, and Mike Galetta stood there like a fucking idiot. And I think his camera was stuck. No, to give Mike credit, I think his camera was stuck on pause, and he just had a blank stare the whole time. So, that's good enough. Listen, I'm glad Havermel did a good job because it's hard working with Attard. He sounds like a whiny bitch all the time, and he's just trying to snort Starbucks with a hooker's ass. So, but listen, we had a lot of fun tonight, gentlemen. Anybody have any last words?
Surprised we didn't get cut out about 4 minutes ago. Just see the snow on the screen.
We just go out like we came in. You just
That's
pop
it.
on,
That's how we're going.
pop off.
One, does anyone snort coffee?
How does one snort coffee? It's coffee grounds. It's hard. Be creative. Use your mind.
And still, I don't know.
Ones and zeros.
That's how you do it. Jerry, great last show, guys.
Hey, we appreciate you being here.
We started this. I'll tell you what, though. We started with absolutely zero introduction and didn't go below 10 people the entire show. I felt good.
We're not worried about views or anything like that. A show like this needs no introduction. All right, that's how it is. All right, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
From Delaware, we got KG. We got from the mean streets of Italy, we got my man Amedio. Paulie from some gambling hall somewhere, getting chased by fucking 20-year-old little punks for money. And
can I say rest in peace, DMX?
There you go.
Man. Come on,
Rest in
rest
peace,
in
R.I.P.
peace,
X.
fucking dog, dude. Let's go. I'm about to tip one out for him. I'm tipping one out.
Well, what are you sipping on tonight, Ann? What are you smoking on?
What's that?
What are you smoking on?
Me?
Sipping.
Oh, you sipping?
I got a little Tom's River, Wits End, little promo for them.
And Paul, you're not smoking on anything tonight?
He has been. You don't see it?
You want me?
Yeah, it's the Puff
Can
Plus Banana Ice Vape.
Can I show what I'm puffing on? Can I show?
Yeah.
It? Are we allowed?
Well, it's probably.
I mean, yes, you are allowed.
Across the screen, it's gonna go back across the screen, and it's gonna go back over here.
We're breaking literally every Facebook rule today.
Nah, there's no Facebook rules. You know what? We might as well break one more, right? We might as well break one more.
Oh yeah.
Is he gonna do this too? This is our live outro today.
This is from my man Mees.
Is that where you were going with this, Tony?
Was that?
Are you going the same way?
You should take him out on Rough Riders. Get the anthem on.
Whack, twist it. Your girl's a hoe.
Remind me of a strip club. Every time we come around, it's like, well, just gotta get my house up.
Thank you for watching this episode of Baseline Jumper on the Sports Box. Please remember to follow us on all of our social media outlets. On Facebook at Sportsbox Show, Twitter at Sportsbox Show, Instagram at The Sportsbox Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And also our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 free points.